the assumption that may be wrong. For centuries, people believed the British Empire was too powerful to fail. It controlled the seas, it controlled trade, it controlled money. And yet, it collapsed. Not because of one war, not because of one enemy, but because of a final mistake. Quiet, financial, and almost invisible at the time. Here's the uncomfortable question no one wants to ask. What if the United States is now making the exact same mistake, and the consequences arrive by 2026? History doesn't repeat perfectly, but it rhymes. And right now, the rhyme is getting louder. An empire built on money, not just power. The British Empire was never just about redcoats and battleships. Its real weapon was finance. By the 1800s, London was the world's financial capital. The British pound was the global reserve currency. Global trade was settled in sterling. British banks financed the world. This meant Britain could borrow cheaply run trade deficits without immediate punishment, fund wars without instant collapse. Sound familiar? Because after World War II, America inherited this system. The US dollar replaced the British pound. Wall Street replaced the City of London. The Federal Reserve replaced the Bank of England. But what most people don't realize is this. The British Empire didn't fall when it lost wars. It fell when it lost financial discipline. And that's where the story begins. How Britain built the perfect system. In the 19th century, Britain ran the world's most advanced financial empire. Key advantages: gold-backed currency, balanced budgets most of the time, strong industrial base, naval dominance protecting trade. Britain exported goods, not debt. The empire worked because production, trade, and finance were aligned. But success planted the seeds of failure. Because once you control global money, temptation follows. When money became too easy by the early 1900s, Britain had changed. Instead of exporting goods, it exported capital. It lent money instead of building factories. Finance grew faster than industry. The empire began living off past dominance, not current productivity. Then came World War I. Britain borrowed heavily to fight it. Debt exploded. Gold reserves drained. To save face, Britain made a fatal decision. The breaking point, the final mistake. In 1925, Britain forced the pound back onto the gold standard at an unrealistic value. Why? Prestige, power, image. They wanted the pound to look strong, even though the economy wasn't. The consequences were brutal. British exports became too expensive. Unemployment soared. Industry collapsed. Debt pressure intensified. Instead of adjusting reality, Britain tried to protect its status at all costs. Sound familiar? Because America is now doing something similar, not with gold, but with debt and the dollar. When the empire couldn't admit the truth, Britain's leadership refused to accept decline. So they borrowed more, cut social spending, defended the currency, protected financial elites. By the time Britain finally devalued the pound in 1931, the damage was done. The empire survived on paper, but its dominance was over. Within decades, the US dollar replaced the pound. British influence faded. The empire dissolved. The lesson was clear. Reserve currency status doesn't disappear overnight. It collapses slowly, then suddenly. America's version of the same mistake. Now look at the United States. America today runs massive trade deficits, has over $34 trillion in debt, pays more interest on debt than on national defense, relies on foreign buyers to fund government spending, just like Britain did after World War I. But here's the key parallel. America is protecting the appearance of strength instead of fixing the foundation. The dollar trap. The US dollar is still dominant, but at a cost. To maintain dollar dominance, America must keep global markets liquid, provide endless dollars, run deficits so others can hold dollars. This creates a trap. Printing money weakens purchasing power. Higher interest rates threaten debt sustainability. Lower rates fuel inflation. There is no painless option. Britain faced this exact dilemma. Failed fixes. Why the same solutions won't work. Like Britain, America keeps trying short-term fixes, raising interest rates, controls inflation temporarily, but increases debt servicing costs. Printing money, delays collapse, but erodes trust financial repression, forces savings into government debt, damages middle-class wealth. Britain tried all of these. None worked. Because the problem wasn't policy, it was structure. Why 2026 matters by 2026. A massive portion of U.S. debt will need refinancing. Interest payments will consume record levels of tax revenue. Global alternatives to the dollar will be more mature. Trust, not power, will be the deciding factor. Just like in Britain's final years, the question won't be, is America strong? The question will be, is the system sustainable? Empires don't fall when they are weak. They fall when the cost of maintaining dominance exceeds the benefits. The repeating pattern. Look at the pattern. Spain, silver debasement. Netherlands, financial overextension. Britain, debt and currency defense. America, debt, deficits, and monetary distortion. Different centuries, same mistake. 3 clear takeaways. 1. Reserve currency status is a privilege, not a guarantee. Once trust erodes, power cannot force confidence back. 2. Financial empires collapse before political ones. Money breaks first. Influence follows. 3. Ignoring history doesn't prevent repetition. It accelerates it. The warning. The British Empire didn't think it was making a fatal mistake either. They thought, we're too important. The world depends on us. There's no alternative. History proved otherwise. It's refusing to adapt today. Final thought and call to action. The question isn't whether the system will change. It's who will be prepared when it does. Because when empires fall, they don't warn you. They normalize the decline. If you want more deep dives like this, on money, power, and the systems shaping your future, subscribe, stay curious, and question the assumptions history already disproved.